The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid Carolina Service Company.
Mid Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, weshopbobs.com for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at weshopbobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Red Rooster Sports Bar and Grill. Red Rooster is your neighborhood bar and grill serving the best wings, burgers, and baskets in the Met.
Like the amazing food, the bar is always on tap, and there's plenty of screens to watch the big game. Red Rooster is the Midland's premier meetup spot for local car and bike clubs, fraternities, and sororities.
Staff is dedicated to accommodating all kinds of parties and events. If you're looking to catch a game, have a bite, and a drink, look no further than the Red Rooster.
Red Rooster is located at 7500 Wilson Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, visit redroostersportsbar.com or visit them on Facebook, Instagram at Red Rooster Sports Bar. Go where the winners go.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I want to welcome everybody to the 24th episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. I'm your host, DJ and What, and I'm going to be joined today by my co-host, Miss Tamaya. What's up, Miss Tamaya?
What's up? How are you guys?
Yeah. Today, we are going to be having a conversation with our multi-talented guest, FreePour Donnie. Donnie is a Midlands-based lyricist, originally from Orangeburg. You always got to shout out the Burg. He recently dropped, you better know it, he recently dropped his latest project. He recently dropped his latest project, Till Further Notice, on multiple streaming platforms. And of course, matter of fact, he just dropped track Berg. Matter of fact, I listened to that last night. Good morning, Donnie. I want to welcome you to the Hilltop Glove Podcast. I don't know if people know this as a disclaimer. We do know you pretty well. I know myself and Skip. We actually go back a couple of years. And so we're actually happy to have you on here today. You've been featured on our playlist a couple of times, matter of fact. And I'm telling you, man, you better know it, bro. Because, I mean, your stuff is strong and it's honest. I love your music, man. So, I mean, I even put my fiance onto it. We've been listening. We've been riding around. We'll listen to your jams when traveling back and forth. But easy enough. Of course, I have to start off like this because I do understand. I know your background, but our audience, of course, I want to get you into a new audience and get them to know who you are. So just to begin the conversation, I want to get a little bit of your backstory so that our audience can know and get to know who FreePour Donnie is. So would you mind telling our audience a little bit about your upbringing and what makes FreePour Donnie unique?
Yeah, man, FreePour Donnie, you know what I'm saying? Like they said, from Orangeburg, represent that.
Yep.
My upbringing, man, 2-parent home, some say suburbs. We had to work to get there, but music was an early influence. I used to spend time at my grandmother's house, and she had these records, the 33s and the 45s, and like Saturdays, that's what we'd do. Like my grandmother was blind, so all she had was music. So I got put on the stuff early. Isley Brother, Earth, Wind and Fire, Sonny and Cher, my favorite, Michael Jackson, Roger and the Zaps. That was my grandmother's favorite, Roger and the Zaps. And it just,
really?
we got on the weekends, man. Like my grandma was blind, but she Saturday mornings and Saturday nights, she still was able to cook and shit. So we just danced and partied with the music. And then my uncles had these big surround sound systems. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how I got into it. And how I became FreePour, well, Donnie is a family name, a nickname, and FreePour, it's just, if you listen to my music or you know me personally, it's a free pour of life. It never ends. Whether we having fun, we drinking, we just talking, it's a free pour of knowledge. It's anything, just don't turn off, man, So
very true.
It ain't nothing too deep behind it. It's just the truth. It's, it is what it is.
Very true.
Cool. That's crazy. I'm from Orangeburg too, so I wonder if you know some people that I know.
Wait. What side of Burg you from?
I was born in Orangeburg, but I'm really from Charleston, so I'm really like I have some family in Orangeburg.
Isn't that funny, Donnie? She born in Orangeburg from Charleston.
Yeah. But now I live in Columbia, so it's like, you just from the South.
Yeah, shout out to the Chuck, man. The Chuck helped me grow into a man, you know what I'm saying? College of Charleston, what's happening?
Yes, sir. Shouts out. Alma mater.
Yeah.
College of Charleston. How was that experience?
That experience was lit, man. We went down. Let me tell you.
Kevin's gonna have to edit me, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. We went down there as a part of this minority thing to start before classes to get credits, and I linked up with Amwet.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we was out past curfew or snuck out or whatever, but my big brother got a dorm across campus rolling. So I was like, man, fuck these curfews. We out. Let's go.
Yeah, we didn't do curfew.
Yeah, we didn't do curfews at all. So we went over to Skip dorm room or whatnot. And man, that's how we linked up, and we've been cool. Like from that night, we've been cool ever since. I freestyled. It was a long time. I can't remember how long it was, but I know it was over an hour. And
no real talk, no lie.
It might have been more than that, but ever since then, we just been cool. We've been kicking it outside of music and stuff. Like I really text and be like, "Hey, well, how you doing today? What's going on?" You know what I'm saying? How the little girl doing? You know what I'm saying? Yep. I talked to Skip a little more than Anwet, but
yep.
You know what I'm saying? College of Charleston was lit, man. It taught me how to be a man. Charleston taught me how to be a man because Charleston was dangerous at that time. So
you are not lying, bro. And I know I was listening to an interview of yours last night, and I was putting two together. The interview you did with, I think it was on DME, and you're breaking this down because people don't realize this. Because I remember this at the time, like, yo, Cash, where you going, Cash? He's like, yo, I'm about to go over to the east side. I'm going back to Green. I'm about to go over to such to go work on such. I'm like, dang, bro, you about to go over there? He's like, yeah, bro.
Man. You gotta, that's back, this is like a little bit after that, I was working in Foot Locker. So, like when I was working in Foot Locker, I'm not from down there. So you gotta link up just to, if shit happens, I'm good. So shout out to the east side, back to Green, take it to North Charleston or Trano, B-Road, the Wailing, the Macon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
them boys are all out in West Ashley. I was all over, man,
You were.
Okay, I'm about to ask her. I'm like, y'all know FreePour Donnie?
They might not. I was going about something different back then, so they might.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how did you define your desire and love for rap?
Like just early influences, like outside of Jay and T.I., like Wale is one of my favorite artists, so I got put on Wale like real early. Just my godparents lived in Maryland, right outside of DC, and my godmother had a hair shop in DC. So I got put on. I heard Buddy spit, and I was like, okay. And that kind of made that drive go deeper. But before that, my pops, he bought me my first album. Y'all gonna laugh. My first album was Doggy Style.
Yo,
Like,
how old were you?
My pops, real shit. He bought me Doggy Style, and he had one rule. He was like, we could rap the song, we could curse, but don't curse in front of my mama. So, I listen to way, like, people don't give Snoop a lot of credit. Snoop, like, a legend. Like, Snoop been, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Snoop been around. So just listen to that music. And then when my pops bought me 400 Degrees, and he bought me The Block Is Hot, and like just music like that, that first Jay-Z CD, like I was a kid listening to this because in my family there's an age gap between me and my older cousins. Like I seriously, my oldest first cousin is maybe 50, if not a little older. So
oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, they was on shit that I wasn't on yet. Like my cousin Shelby used to come down and babysit, and she'd be playing all this music, or my cousin Demetrius would be playing all this music. And that just drove it in. I just like the way they put bars together. Like making music is hard. Like
it is.
And that's something something that, tweaked my mind, like how you put these bars together. And then I was fortunate enough, my parents let me put a studio in the house when I was in high school, like, and they let us rock out. Like I had all the gangsters, all the thugs in the house. I'm talking about guns and drugs that shouldn't be in my parents' house. I'm like, hey, y'all can do that, but not at my mama's house. They letting us record. That's all we can do. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I just kept going with it.
They supported you fully.
Nah, I ain't gonna say all that, but
they gave an opportunity. They gave an opportunity.
They weren't gonna tell me I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a big sports freak. Like I was nice on the basketball court, even nicer in baseball.
Say it again. That's what a lot of people don't know. Yeah, this dude talks sports, bro. Yes.
Hoop. Like I just went to the wrong school. Didn't get afforded the best opportunity. Yeah, I could have worked harder, but we didn't have what kids got now with the social media and
bro, that was totally different.
If I had social media when I was playing sports, we wouldn't be talking about music probably. I'd probably be playing baseball. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to switch hit, play first, and pitcher, and I was good at it. But wrong coach, wrong school, so that didn't work out.
That's how it happens with a lot of us, especially here in South Carolina. If you don't have certain connections when it comes to sports and athletics, and I know you and Kevin had that conversation before, because this is how I know, of course I know you well. So I know about the sports aspect, because like Kevin himself, he was also, Kevin was an all-state soccer player, like all region in the South. Like he was supposed to go and play scholarship ball, but the way it worked, like I said, if you get the wrong coach, you're in the wrong situation, you don't get tapes, you don't get stuff pushed out, because like I said, before social media, because you couldn't promote yourself, Cash ran into that same issue.
Yeah, and speaking of tape, that happened my junior and senior year. I asked my coach for my tapes. He said he couldn't find them. So I was like,
oh, that's cool.
Bruh. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, he's a good coach. I ain't going to put him out there like that. I love him to death because he helped me grow into a man. He gave us that tough love, but I remember he told me I couldn't get them tapes. I was like, bruh.
You gotta be kidding me. Like, that's crucial. You need that.
But,
so your name change, what would you say is the biggest thing that has changed lyrically from when you first picked up the mic?
My outlook on stuff. Like, at one point, as an artist, you want to, that First Amendment, freedom of speech shit be cool and all until you get in the studio and think about who you may offend and who take things out of context, because out of content, sorry. Because at the end of the day, you just putting on this mic what's on your mind. It might be on somebody else's mind. So like just the process of it, like as I grew, I stopped giving a fuck. Like, like my project before this one, the Donald, you know what I'm saying? I had a Klansman hanging, on
Fire track.
Yeah,
Fire track.
And that whole shit. Matter of fact, that whole project kind of depicts what's going on now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even with the president and vice president now, like, it's like, man, listen, what the hell? Because I released the Donald on election day last year, and I put up a post on Facebook, and I said, "Are y'all prepared for the worst?" And you know how the Facebook memories come up, and it was the year to the day, "Are y'all prepared for the worst?" And I was like, "See, I wasn't making this shit up," but I said all of that on Donald. I said all of this on the Donald, but
that's the crazy part. I still ride around listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. When you appreciate that too, bro. When you don't have that microscope or you don't have that backing behind you, they take the music lightly. You know what I'm saying? Whether you hot, whether you not, it's just you don't get the ear. But I was talking this shit last year, and everybody said, "Yo, man, you don't know what you're talking about." Okay, cool. And we in the situation we in right now.
Yep, getting mollywopped. I'm telling you, bro. Oh shoot, that darn track is so prophetic, man. And then I'll tell you another thing about that track because it was playing. Of course, it was on the radio. I remember I was hearing it riding through Sumter, and I was listening to the radio. I was like, "That's Donnie on the radio," because I can't forget the voice. I done listened to this man's voice so many times, recording, etc. Right, just listen to it over and over again. And I'm up here listening to the lyrics. I said, "Oh, me Shazam that. Let me go download that. Let me ride with that," because that's the type of that's the way I think too. And I know that's one thing that I always had a connection with Donnie was you're a very aware brother. You are not the type of musician or artist that allows your, how would you say, you don't allow your art to not be influential in pushing people forward. And I think part of that too, it comes from your determination and that work ethic that you have. And that's one thing I always paid attention to with you. I would beat up my little brother about it too. Of like, nah, you need to have that type of work ethic. That's what it needs to look like. That's work ethic. And with that being said, as you move through the years as artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives, etc., it's hard to sustain hunger, especially focus as you're dealing with certain things and et cetera in life. How have you kept that growth going through those changes that we were just talking about, like your name change, lyrical changes, et cetera? Because like people may not know you were known as Cash the Great. That's how I still got the CD with Cash the Great on it, bro. You don't realize, like,
yeah.
So,
y'all heard Cash the Great.
Yeah, Cash the Great is a different individual. I don't want the world to be him.
Yeah, that's a different individual.
Yeah, that's definitely a different individual, man. But you stay motivated through change and through growth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a real, at least I think so. I got a gift of being able to check myself when I need to be checked. I can look in the mirror and get myself straight. I got that from T.I. album, the T.I. versus T.I.P., not the album, but the song. And that was a bar. How many people are real enough to get themselves straight? So I thought about that through life. Like, that's how you stay in your zone. That's how you got to get yourself straight. And when you get yourself straight, you put yourself in positions to do better. So once you do better, you start making better music. You start giving different experiences, even getting married. Like, growing up, none of my OGs told me getting married was dope. Like, I just like being married. Like, that shit's golden. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's less stress. You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm an artist. I ain't going to go into detail, but it's less stress. You know what I'm saying? And you put your real life experiences or what somebody else may be going through, you put it in your songs. You put those experiences in the music, and that's what keeps you going. Are there days when you get the writer's block? Yeah, but it happens. But that's a reason I stopped writing too, because when you write, I got too much time to think.
Yeah.
And so I go in there. Yeah, sometimes I punch bar for bar. Sometimes I memorize. I'll memorize an 8 and do it. You know what I'm saying? And I got that from my cousin, Mister, because he was like, bruh, we doing too much moving around. It take too much time to sit down and write. Which made sense. Huh?
I said, Mr. your cousin?
Yeah, that's my cousin. Yeah,
that's how you put two together, right?
Okay.
Hey man, listen, that MMR shit strong now.
Oh.
Yeah, we built that from the ground up. Me and Cuzzo, I ain't gonna get into the details, but Cuzzo was like, hey, I'm coming to stay with you. That's not how the conversation went, but I'm gonna leave it at that. And I was like, I ain't gonna be like, at that time I ain't want no roommates or nothing. I was like, man, fuck that. I'm living. But in doing so, it was a sacrifice, and that sacrifice paid off because, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, oh, Mr. your cousin? You know, that was, I had hands in that. Mr. recorded his first song at my house.
Wow.
That's what yeah. Like, man.
What I was telling you about, he was one of them.
So you do everything yourself. Like, do you also produce and do the engineering stuff too, or no?
Nah, I believe in paying people that's good at what they do to do what they do.
Good man.
So
Yep, good man. Yep.
And I used to produce, but I got out of it. Just I don't know. I just fell out of love with it. I want to focus on being an artist and an executive. You know what I'm saying? So I do record myself. I record everything myself, and I network and send it off and get it engineered. Like the project Till Further Notice, that's exclusively produced and engineered by my boy Schizo. He's actually out of Fresno. So like our sessions are a little different. They 3 hours behind. So it's 4 o'clock here. It's 1 o'clock there. And we work into to me, it's the wee hours of the morning. So that's how it get done. But yeah, I don't produce as much anymore. Now, if you want me to come in the studio and say, this sound good, this don't sound good, yeah, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can get it for you now.
Run the ear, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's how that go. But I do, I record myself. I'm actually sitting in my studio now. So I record myself and send it off.
Well, that's good. The sound good. Your studio, like.
No, I was about to say, Donnie, you got to explain to them the evolution of that home, like what your first studio was like at home to what you looking like now.
I'm gonna trip you out. Watch this. All right, so the first studio, you had to be really on your shit because we used Music Match. Everybody know about Music Match recording where you only had one take. If you mess up, you got to do the whole song over. So once we got that, we got onto it's called Cool Edit, and we did Cool Edit. That was the first multi-track interface we had. And then when I got to college, I took my refund check
this always trips me out.
On Till Further Notice, it's a line in the intro. It's like, my pop's bad for that refund check on that equipment. Like, yeah, I blew my refund check on equipment. And believe it or not, I got that same equipment till today.
Really?
Yeah, I got my same monitor, same interface. I done changed mics over the years, but I'm actually about to buy me some more monitors because they about to go out. But we talking about 2006. And it's 21.
You talking about keeping stuff up, though. You kept good condition on that, man. Great condition on that equipment. It was a good investment.
I learned that from my pops, though. He take care of shit. Like, my
Explain
pops
that. Yes.
In his yard that's older than me. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that's how I kept it up. And then, like, now I can go to the big studios and stuff, but I like being in my own thoughts. I feel rushed in them big studios. Like I like being in my own thoughts. I can walk out my backyard or front yard. I can smoke, drink. I mean, I can do that at the studio, but I like being comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You can really relax.
Well, you said you don't do the songwriting. So, I mean, explain how other artists could, prevent that, the songwriting process, the writer's block and being in the studio for a certain amount of time and you got to get it done. Like, what would you recommend?
Take your time. I hate rush music. I hate forced music. If it's not there, it's just not there. You didn't go through something to make you record that certain song. And that's how people get trapped in a box with making one type of sound and song. Like, none of my projects sound the same because I'm not at the same level of thinking when I recorded it. Like, all my projects sound different. Every last one of them. I mean, of course, it got some similarities because it's me, but you really can't avoid writer's block. If an artist ever told you they never had writer's block, they lying. Or they got writers.
Honest. They got writers. I like that second point. Yeah, they probably got writers.
Yeah, that's like me. Like, I just put that Till Further Notice out. I'm in a writer's block right now. Like, I mean, because I'm still geeked off of Till Further Notice and I'm getting good feedback, you know what I'm saying, about that. So I want to push that, but I know now it's like, well, what's next?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's how I stay in it. Or I might call Mister and talk to him for a little bit because that nigga is always inspired. I don't know how the fuck he do that shit, but.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what inspires you outside, like your outside environment, to keep you more engaged and wanting to create more music every day?
The youth, because the youth they have very few role models. Excuse me, I hate the word role models because they play a role. They have very few real models that they can, idolize, lack of a better word, because, so I done did all the other shit, gang banging, all right. I done had 9 to 5s. I had a 401k since I was 18. and I can still walk in rooms and get respect. So you don't have to be a gangster or a thug.
Right.
You ain't gotta sell dope. You ain't gotta kill nobody. Like if you solid within yourself, your name speak for yourself. Like these boys know me. I never tried to be no gangster or no thug. Like I got my affiliations or whatever, but I never tried to be this extra hard person. Like that shit corny, man.
Right.
Like that shit corny. Like niggas like that get beat up around my way. Like, oh, you want to be hard? All right, watch
Speak
this.
on it, bro. Speak on it. Nah, like, people don't realize that. Yo, you are very that's why I had to say like earlier, like you're a very aware brother, and at the same time, like you're official. Like you ain't, you know what I'm saying, no pushover, but at the same time, you aren't over the top, bombastic. What's the word? A negative, hyper masculine, aggressive. Nah, that's not how you operate. And in the, you know, in the world of music, especially with Black music, it's usually seen. You don't usually get to see a lot of that balance.
Right. That's what I'm
especially
trying
from the
to figure
South.
out how to get that balance. Like that's good.
You gotta get that balance, man. That's why I respect people like Wale and J. Cole and Kendrick,
Yep.
like the big Seans of the world.
Sean.
Even Outkast, like Outkast ain't no real gangsters, but they got that shit in them to make you say, okay, we understand. Like, you know, Wale might get on a few bars and whoop the whoop, and you be like, oh, okay, so he connected enough. Like, and that's what it's about. It's about connections, man. I don't have to fight nobody. I'm connected. Like, I'm
Right.
Exactly.
like, we got, you know, I'm above that. Like, I'm not fighting you, bro. Like, that shit comical to me.
Right. Okay.
Now you step wrong. It ain't about me. You do something wrong with my family. You do something wrong with my family, then shit, green light.
Yep.
You know? So, but I just try to keep it honest, man. Like everybody don't like that honesty, but that's what makes me me.
Man, I'll tell you, man, I've always respected that honesty. That's why I always like working with you with music and et cetera, because I knew you're going to get your best effort and that you're going to be honest when making that music. And I know you were just talking about getting your influence, especially from the youth. And I know moving into this next question, this makes so much sense. Hip hop, as they always say, is a young man's sport, right? And usually, you know this, and they always like to try to limit opportunities for newer, older artists, et cetera, for any artist that's not quote unquote young. So there's a connotation that comes along with being an artist, a 30-year-old artist in music in any genre. But what is your opinion on older or more mature artists and influencers in hip hop, like your Killer Mikes and et cetera? Like, do you think that the opportunities are more prevalent now than they were in the past because of social media?
I really think it's the same. Like hip hop is the only genre we put an age limit on shit. Like
that's crazy.
Kiss or Aerosmith or Madonna, they can drop something and fucking they be old as dirt and the world love it.
And they'll be on tour.
Now, granted, you know what I'm saying? Granted, they are more established artists. So somebody, I would say, in my lane, if you above 30 and you in my lane, like, do you. Like, who gives a fuck what the world think? Long as you paying your bills, you know what I'm saying? You taking care of your kids. I don't respect people who don't take care of their house. So if you got kids and you ain't taking care of them, you know what I'm saying? Fuck you. If you not taking care of your kids, fuck you. You know, you lay down and made them. I don't care what your baby mama did, what you're going through. Handle your business and be a man. Because nigga like me, you be rapping about woo-doo, you got all this money and stuff, and then you showing up. I'm like, this music ain't adding up. And that's how artists that's 30 plus, you're supposed to be more responsible in life. So that's why we look at you different. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yes.
Like you take care of your business now. And everything comes back full circle. So I think hip hop is going back more towards actually hip hop, because I think rap and hip hop are two different things. Like,
yes.
Explain that for the audience.
Some people gonna be mad at this. Rapping. When I listen to your songs and you got bars and there's no words more than 5 letters, like you just rapping about the same shit over and over. Like, all right, bro, how much dope can you sell?
Ooh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right,
like, you still broke, but you still selling this dope, but you claim to sell this dope. Hip hop artists takes everything and put it into one. That's what makes those Jay-Z's and T.I. type folks, the Snoops,
Rushmore.
the Mount Rushmores, the Waynes. Like, yeah, you took all your misfortunes, you took the hood, but you managed a way to evolve that where that's not all we think about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mentioned Hove, you think about Hove selling crack, or you think about billionaire Hove. Me
Isn't
personally,
that cool? Yo,
I think about billionaire Hove. I don't care
me
about the
too.
crack.
Yeah, I done forgot about the fact he sold crack.
You know what I'm saying? So when you at a certain age, there's a certain responsibility. And if you're taking care of your lively responsibilities, you can do what the hell you want with music.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't take no money out my household losing on music. Like, well, we don't lose over here, but yeah. Yeah, we don't, you know, it's nothing leaving my house, you know what I'm saying? Like, like I said, that's just that drive that go into it. Like, you can't be telling heyday stories of when you was 18. Nobody cares. You're 30 now, like 30 plus. Like, tell me what you doing now that's going to inspire somebody to do something new.
Darn Skippy, bro. And question, Donnie. I got it. This is one thing because I'm gonna keep saying people like, dang, he kept saying this the whole time. Bro, you got determination and work ethic. Like, this is another thing. Like, people don't get this. Like, how do you think, especially being where you are right now in your career, creative wise, do you think that's something like you had to have that to begin with, or can you earn that over time?
Nah, you gotta be born. You gotta be born with certain shit. Like you.
That's what I'm wondering. Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree with that.
My pop's a workaholic, man. My pops worked the swing shift. For those that don't know, it's like 4 days on, 3 days off, 1 day off, 3 days on, 4 days off, and then he might get it 7 days. So, but on his 7 days, this dude would go work overtime for 6 of them days, and I'm like, bruh. But that afforded me and my little sister opportunities that we might not have had. Like, you know what I'm saying? So. You gotta be. It's a lot of sacrifice. You gotta be willing to put in that, you know, put in that realm and sacrifice to get to the greater goal. That's like when I got married. Like music, it just looked different for me now. You know what I'm saying?
I like that though. I like that. Mm-hmm.
It just looked different. Like, should I say now? I probably would have said it different back then. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want the wife like, you really said that? And I'm like, you know,
I like the maturity though. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So,
you know, with your words now.
Yeah, your words, man. Listen, words are like spells. That's why they call it spelling. So words, like when you put it out there, it can happen.
Yep.
I love the awareness because I was just thinking that like a lot of rappers now, like they're not intentional with their words, so they say stuff, and it's like you're telling the younger generation to speak this into fruition. So it's like how do you feel? Do you feel like you're selling your soul as an artist because you're just making up raps?
But see, that goes back to what we just talked about. You're talking about rappers. Do you expect more from them? Like, honestly, like that's why hip hop artists are different. Like,
say this again. All right. So I don't know if anybody caught that Kanye interview, but there's one thing he said in the interview. There's another song I listened to.
That name right? His name Ye.
Ye, my fault. Ye, the Ye interview. But there was one thing he talked about in the interview that made so much sense. And he's like, you're hanging out with all of these high level billionaires, et cetera, especially these white folk. And he said they would use the word rapper so that they could call these people nigger without saying nigger. They would call them rapper. So that's why if you pay attention, I have not referred to you as a rapper. You are a musician and an artist.
Yes.
And I like that you said that because they will literally divide it based on that, and they'll keep you in these little boxes. And so, yes. Mm-hmm.
They did that to and I always say this, and I'm gonna stand by this. That's why Lil Baby, I feel, even though Lil Baby is successful as hell, he's still getting blackballed because that song he put out, the what is it called? It's Bigger Than Black and White.
Yes.
Man, after he put that song out, bro, they not giving him no award. That man had album of the year that year. I don't know if y'all got the album. That nigga spazzed, bro.
No, I know, but we know that they blackballed that man so hard after that song.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They so like you gotta, you know, it's paths you choose to take, and that's where that determination come in. Because after they blackball Buddy, he could have, you know what I'm saying? He could have been like, man, fuck it, but he came back spazzing and snapping, and it ain't bother him, dog. So I like stuff like that. Like he went from a rapper to a hip hop artist in that moment for me.
Yep, true story.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Lil Baby, hey, do your thing, Holmes.
True story. I respected that move so much because it wasn't the popular move, but it was the correct move.
But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just he had the platform to where, you know, like my music be along the same lines. I just don't have the bigger influence.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I said I'm rocking your stuff all the time because, you know, me being a grown adult and, you know, I'm an aware individual as well. There's certain things I don't want to listen to. I don't want to have it on my conscience all the time running in the background.
Yeah, right.
I'll play your stuff in the background and have it running in my conscious so I can have this certain thought concept. This is what I want to focus on. And I can get that from your music. That's one reason, like, especially in South Carolina, I always like finding those artists like that, gravitating to them and getting their stuff and pushing. That's why we always try to put that type of music on our playlist, because I was explaining to Kevin, those playlists are important because the playlists help push the algorithm, because apparently playlists now are just like being on mixtapes. And so I always tell Kevin, yo, push these playlists, let's get these people on these playlists, especially artists that we know are worth it, so that way it'll help push the algorithm their way.
That's true though, because the other day my partner was like, "Hey, bro, your new shit just popped up in my playlist on some random." So you know, so I was like, well, you know, and I do owe that some to y'all boys, because I was sitting in the house and I was like, oh, I made the playlist for the podcast. You know, I just did my due diligence and shared it, but then I look and it's like, okay, people checking these songs out more, and then I hadn't cracked this algorithm thing, but it's there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's there. So yeah, that plays hand in hand.
Yes, learning how to play the new game. And I guess this leads into this question, makes mad sense. Like with the new era of the digital world and learning how to keep your marketability moving into this new technology, has it changed your approach to music?
Yeah. I'm a person with a big personality where if I meet you in person, I'm one of them people, if you don't like me, it's you. So like I'm real comfortable walking. I'm serious though. I could walk up to you like with CDs in my hand, but the world don't listen to CDs no more. Like the average car don't have a CD player. So what's next? So now it's all about your social media, how you gonna get people to tap in and listen to you. Granted, I be on social media, but I'm not one of them artists on social media. Like,
you don't post stuff about that on social media. You post about other things.
Say it again.
I said you post other types of content on social media, and so like you don't just flood your timeline with your music, which is interesting.
I don't. I'm starting to do that now though, for my business page. So y'all follow FreePour Donnie, plug. Anyway, I like being in tune and checking the temperature of that nature. Like you gotta go with the times. You know what I'm saying? Like I still gotta I have a multi-disc CD burner right next to me because some people still like CDs, but the world that we in, you got to be more digital. The flash drives, the QR codes, or just putting yourself in a spot and make people be like, let me just check this out.
Yep, that's it. Immediately.
That's like ads now. If you see an ad enough, you're going to click on it eventually. At least one click.
Mm-hmm. It beats you down a little bit. Yeah, it wears away at you to the point where you have to at least give it some kind of play.
Yeah, you got to.
That's important. Yeah.
It's inevitable. Like, you got to.
And another thing, leading in, continuing on that same frame about making sure you're paying attention to the times, et cetera, keeping up with that, with the changes. Hip hop, and I know you understand this, hip hop is a political tool, and it always had a reputation for providing insight into what was going on in our community, whether it be positive or negative. It's been used to inform, enlighten, and empower people, especially when effectively used. And of course, I always like to tell people you can tell a movement by its music. And I know I was listening to Berg the other day, and in my mind, the way that song was, how you rep your city and put the information out about your city, about it being a unique place, especially like you messed me up with this because I've been through there plenty of times on the bus, and that McDonald's with the spinning sign, you ain't lying. That is the only one.
There's only 3 in the world, and this is the only one in the U.S. It's the only one in the U.S. Yeah, but McDonald's has a spinning McDonald's sign. You're not going to, if it's not broke. If it's not broke, it has been broke. But that's the only spinning McDonald's sign you're going to see in the U.S. The other 2 are outside the country.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think about it. And like just riding by the scene all the time when I was listening to the songs, like, yo, he's for real. That's serious. But based on just, understanding that importance of it being a political tool and using hip hop to express what's really going on, do you think it's important for artists, whether they be quote unquote young artists or old, especially for older artists? I think it's more important because, should show growth. Do you think they should be recognizing the impact of their voice on the people who listen? This is what Tamaya was asking about earlier, like just the impact of your voice and how it spreads and infects the masses.
Yeah, that should be a conscious decision, but I think it's more up to the younger artists than the older artists because the younger artists are in the now. You know what I'm saying? We here, we can guide you. Like if a young artist say, yo, Donnie, you know what I'm saying? I needed some guidance. It's not about music. I'm going to guide you through life and show you how to get to where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 30. I just turned 34 like 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? Never been arrested. I never been in front of a judge other than a parking ticket. I don't have, baby mamas running around. There's a science to this. You know what I'm saying? So,
science.
There's a science to it. So when it comes to political, not recognition, but political responsibility. Yo, y'all young, y'all got the voice, use it.
Right.
You don't have to do it for every song, but that one song, you got to think like NBA YoungBoy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great artist. Yeah, great. I'm gonna say artist, great artist, because he got he got a playlist. But his generation, they reckless and they wild.
Yes.
You know what they are, yeah.
They not scared of nothing. Like I was scared to get in trouble. They not scared to get in trouble. And what makes me
a superpower and a problem at the same time.
Yeah. And it's like they're not scared to die.
They aren't.
That bothers me when you're not scared to die.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, granted, I'm not scared to die, but to die how they dying, that shit violent, bro.
Yeah, not dying over reckless abandon. You know what I mean? Like I could die for a cause, but not just reckless abandon.
You dying over a block and you don't own one house on that block.
Yes, exactly.
You dying over colors. You dying over colors and these set kings and these OGs. Like once you die, you just a little homie that died. So like
that's it.
The younger artists in these positions, they should take more of a political stand. That goes back to Lil Baby. That song was just dope, like the way he did it. You know what I'm saying? That's an artist taking responsibility of a generation. And he admitted his flaws in the music. I can identify with that. He admitted his flaws, what he had to do in that time period. But there's a brighter path. There's another way. So when it comes to the politics, to get back to the question, these younger artists got to get into it. If you get into it, we're going to support you.
That's another thing that we got to do. I think that's big. When those artists put their behind on the line, like a Lil Baby, or like you have to make sure that we come back with that support. Yeah, man.
Support.
Yeah.
At least like people trying to discredit them and, help them lose endorsements and stuff, like fight for them.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck these endorsements. We Black. We can have our own endorsements, and that's the problem.
That's the support. Exactly. That's the type of support I want. That's the type of support I want right there.
I got a song. It's unreleased. It's gonna be on the next project. That one gonna be produced by Schizo too. But I got a bar that say "fuck these endorsements." Like, bro, we Black. Everybody want to be us.
Exactly. Exactly. We are the trend makers.
Like, look at all the sports. There would be no NFL without us. There would be no NBA without us.
Right.
There would be no baseball without us. Granted, they're not African American, but they are Black descent. No, I mean, now hockey, they can have hockey because hockey cold. Even with
y'all keep that ice sport. Y'all keep ice sport.
With soccer, you got to think if you from the Dominican Republic or you from Cuba,
that's our sport.
Puerto Rico, like if you got any melanin in your skin, you Black. And we literally run the fucking world. But we've been conditioned to step back. It's only a few of us that step out on the forefront.
True.
And some of these athletes, some of these artists, some of these politicians, they scared to back they people.
True.
Right.
Very true. Very true. You can speak on that all day because I think, especially for our age, and like this podcast is just for millennials specifically, so we can understand how to adult properly, quote unquote, how to maneuver out here in the world and handle our business in a responsible and a powerful manner, so that we can affect change and growth and get things right. At least try to help out the folks come behind us, give them some kind of example to look at, and especially like you said, with what we do, all the different aspects that, especially that Black folk are prevalent, that we're some of these cases we're the forefront leaders in some of these areas. We definitely have to make that a known thing that, hey, politically, we want this stuff to change. We want stuff to look like this. We need corrections here. We need developments here or there, and give support to that stuff. Because like you said, the young folks, they got to run it too, because just like with the civil rights movement, like people may not say this, those are the young people that were running that. Snick and stuff, them are kids. Those are babies that were doing that stuff. Like the older people, they were just funding it. And they were letting these young folk run with it so that they could, because they're going to have to live with consequences of those actions. Mm-hmm.
That's like we gotta just take a responsibility. Everybody, that shit don't do no good. Just talking about it on social media.
No,
Right.
Like
get out there.
Like me personally, I'm guilty too. I put it in my
man.
I put it in my music. I asked my wife the other night. I said, I'm about to go into politics. She was like, nah, that ain't you. And I was like, you right, it's not. I'm gonna just keep it in my music because, I don't have no filter for politics. I get up there and fuck them.
You'll say it. Somebody come up there trying to tackle you off the stage.
I mean, but if you bridge the gap and then you have someone speak for you, like I know Anwar, DJ Anwar is good at, speaking. So like, what if you had someone to kind of translate to what you're trying to say to somebody else,
Well, that's true too. So what I'm actually doing, shout out to my partner, another College of Charleston alum, Representative Jermaine Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He's in the House of Representatives right here in Columbia. So when we talk about building networks, like I got Jermaine on the text, and I'll text him, hey, yo, what do you need me to do in the community? Like, I don't want no recognition because I don't want to mess what he got going on. I don't want to mess that up. So where you need me at, bro? That's the type of support. That's the type of support our Black politicians need. I don't need no recognition. I'm FreePour. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So, it's Jermaine. We got the it's called the New 80, because it's ironic. He's the representative for my district because we live in the same neighborhood. So I have more to invest because eventually I live here now. When I start having kids, they gotta live here. So let's clean the neighborhood up now. So
early. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Jermaine been on this thing, man. Shout out Jermaine Johnson, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he is a friend of the podcast as well. We had to reach out to him in that first season and chit chat with him about that change in that district. Because the interesting thing about that district too is the district was going the other way. But I always like to tease about this. When you try to make a hustle and it's not legitimate, don't be surprised when it comes and bite you in the behind. So there's a lot of immigrant folk who live there. I won't say what. They're immigrant folk who live there. And luckily enough, Jermaine is able to actually communicate with these people way better than the other side was. And because of that, they actually they set themselves up, because when it came time to make changes, stuff, they couldn't communicate with that audience, and he was able to reach them. And I guess that goes back to what we're saying, just about making sure, like using hip hop as a political tool, being able to reach out to your audience, communicate effectively, get them to understand what you need them to do and how it will affect them positively. He took and swung that whole thing his way just by going to that underrepresented, basically they were just not ignored group of people. They were just leaving them alone. So that was an amazing move. I'm not even gonna, I forgot too, when we were speaking with him, I remember this too, when he came back from Mexico, like the first time, and we were in Charleston. We were sitting at the bar, and he was up there speaking in Spanish. I'm looking at him. I'm like, dang, Jermaine, where'd you get that from?
He played ball in Mexico.
Yeah, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. And so you got to imagine just having that ability to speak to those folk and bring that to him. He stole a whole district away. And like you said, now he's able to create something from it. So much props, much support to Jermaine on that. And we will continue to support him any way we can. But very true. Very true. It is effective.
Yeah.
I want to move on to your personal life. A lot of times people often fail to recognize that their favorite artists have lives outside of their personas. They have like a spouse, kids, pets, anything like that. So, what is your opinion on artists allowing people to see their lives off stage?
Yeah, I'm married, and my wife, she not with the shit. Well, she with the shit. She not with the shit. Like, don't walk up her and ask her nothing about Donnie, FreePour, nothing, because she gonna look at you like, what?
Oh Lord, she sound like Michelle Obama. I ain't got nothing to do with Obama.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think it's cool though. It gives the fans and the listeners an insight to what you got going on. Like I speak about my marriage on this past tape. It said I think I said I'm in a 2021 something red bone with a ring stunting. This a different kind of stunting. Like my wife ring dope. So like when she riding with me and we got a blacked out of it's all like you can't see shit on my whip. But when she riding with me, it's like, that shit dope because she got a ring on and that shit is a different. I can ride around with my wife and be comfortable.
Yep. That's a blessing.
So when it comes to that, I don't have any kids yet, so it might change when I have kids because I'm a protector. So, I'm one of them people. The world might not see my kid till they turn one or something like that. I gotta see where I'm at in life. I can't speak prematurely. I gotta see where I'm at in life, but all the other personal shit y'all can get. You know what I'm saying? I got a dog. I got 3 snakes. I collect guns. I'm a very advocate 2A person. So yeah, all that personal shit y'all can get. When it comes to like the confines of my house, like my wife, that's kind of sacred. Like, yeah, you'll get that work. So
Hey, I gotta ask since she did ask about that, man. My favorite stuff is on your profile, and I was following this stuff hard, especially during the pandemic, because it was necessary. You needed that motivation. The foodie stuff, the workout, and that stuff was dope.
Workout,
super dope,
so
bro.
I am a big foodie. Like I eat like pizza. I ever say you want to kill me? Give me pizza or give me seafood. Like so. When the pandemic started, I was like close to 240. You know what I'm saying? I'm only like 5'7", 5'8". I was 240, and all this partying, drinking, smoking, and over the years, it just took a toll. And I was like, yo, let me get back right. And back to what we talked about earlier, I'm an athlete, so I know
that's what messed with me. Yeah.
Like, so I just I legit started running 5 miles a day. Well, between running and walking. I did that, and I did that when the pandemic first started. And like after that first year, I went from 240 to 180, and right now I'm at 190, 193, give or take. So, health is wealth, man. Like I don't take no medicines outside of my inhaler. When my doctor told me to call it exercise-induced asthma.
Got you.
So for anybody who got bronchitis, don't use the word bronchitis. The insurance companies to get you. It's called exercise-induced asthma. But other than that, I don't take any medicines or nothing like that. Everything natural, like vitamins and stuff. And I just take care of my body, man. Like I don't never get sick ever. Like no. I went running the other day. It's 44 degrees. I'm sweating. I come back in, no sniffles, no nothing. It's on to a new day. So I say like, I ain't gonna say like I'm the best person to follow in fitness, but if you're on your fitness tip and you're trying to plug in, just plug in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's real though. It's realistic.
My Apple Watch keep me going. So like, but I am a foodie though. I will eat, bro. Like I will eat. Like, matter of fact, last night I went out and partied with some folks last night. And after we got finished partying, I came back home and got on the treadmill. Like I was high, I was a little buzzed. I still got on the treadmill because I knew I had to get some work in. I didn't work enough early in the day, so I had to catch it on the back end. So it takes sacrifice and it takes discipline. So like now, I'm trying to get the rest of the stomach going, get my 6-pack going. So next summer, everywhere shirt off.
Nah, man. This is the one thing I gotta say. That's what I love most about Donnie, y'all. Y'all don't realize. I used to sit around just watch this man work and be like, that's not to say it in a jealous way, but in a way of like, yo, I respect that. I want that. I love that discipline. and that work ethic. Like even when I remember we used to be up late, probably like 3, 4 in the morning trying to record, doing something, and you still be going, still be going. And it would make me go, you know what? I need to be on my P's and Q's. Let me make sure I'm aware, et cetera, what's going on. I love watching that, man. Love watching
that.
Be
in dorm rooms up late,
yep.
late. I'm talking about we get drunk, pass out, and come back to life. And
exactly.
And Skip would be there, be like, "Y'all good now? Yeah, we good, man. We just had to shake back right quick." That's them 211 nights, man. I'm 211. 211 nights.
I can't do a 211 no more, but 211 nights. Yo, people don't realize I've always respected that about you. That's why when I was during the pandemic, and I started doing my workout thing till I broke my foot. I got to get back on it now because my foot is nicely healed and stuff now. But yeah, man, because I was always like, yo, let me see what my folks are doing, and I was just paying attention. I was like, yo, he's really on his workout stuff again, and the way you were charting it and going along with it and making sure that it was something that was integral to your everyday, and I was watching that change from the beginning of it until now. And I'm just like, yo, I hope a lot of other people see that, especially in our community. We don't get a lot of, quote unquote, like I say, everyday people who are around us instead of like some folk on Instagram and stuff. Cause that stuff's bad body image stuff. It's bad for you. But to see a real person doing it in a real way and seeing how those results work, it's necessary for our community most definitely, especially folks around our age. It's necessary. Health is wealth. I know Ms. Tamaya can speak on that.
Yeah, I just started getting into the yoga, meditation, and stretch.
With the Instagram live videos.
Yeah.
If you're looking in pain, working out.
But it's good pain. Like you said, it's mental discipline. I want to see how mentally disciplined I could be. Mm-hmm. And if everybody just tried that, I feel like the world would be a better place.
Real talk.
Yeah, because that's like that feeding like what we got going on with like COVID or pandemic. I'm not gonna speak on it whether you should get vaccinated or not. That shit, I don't care about that. You take care of yourself. Like me personally, I'm not vaccinated. Probably won't get vaccinated because I take care of my everyday life. Like,
go ahead, yes sir.
You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. When it's time for us to leave, it's time for us to leave. If that's the way I gotta go, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it stopped me from getting it, it might be a different conversation. But you talk about chilling, you talking about easing the symptoms. Fuck it. All right. Life can ease symptoms. Like, it's like I got, you know what I'm saying? I have exercise induced asthma. So that's all COVID is to me.
No, I was about to say, especially with your situation, like people don't get, like, it's different from person to person. And in your situation, if you don't need to take it, bro, why would you put your body up for something that's experimental, especially when you know you already had them? I wouldn't even until it's, legitimate and everything is, et cetera, on it. But we actually had an episode where we talked about that on live. And I know I was saying some controversial stuff along with our our co-host, Mike. We were saying some controversial things about it. But because, like, my thing is, I'm not Boo Boo the Fool. And Cash, you know how I am. I don't, man, come on, man. I read too much and I'm on myself too much to just to act like I don't know better. My uncles and stuff would slap me if they're like, bro, you done read these books. I didn't give you this stuff. You know how they get down. You know what the government is. You're saying the same government we've been dealing with forever that's been taking advantage of us. Now they are friends. Come on, bro. Stop playing like that. But outside of that, just dealing with also the health tip and stuff. Could you explain to our folks about 4 strands?
Oh, 4 strands. All right, so
yes.
4 strands. Damn, you pull that one out the woodwork. All right. So 4 strands. It's a collective group of me. All right, my little sister Janae. Shout out to Janae. She just put her book out. Memoirs of a damn. I can't. She gonna kill me. I gotta get.
We gotta put it in. We'll make sure you send us. We'll make sure we put it up on the episode. Make sure we promote it too.
Yeah, I got you. It's called Memoirs of a Mortician.
Ooh.
Yeah. The spelling is different, but that's how you say it. Anyway, so and then she got a body care line called Dollar Jane, where we got the body scrubs, the shea butters, the soaps, all natural stuff. She may actually make my twisting gel for my locks. Like, I don't use store-bought twisting gel. She makes my own twisting gel. But anyway, so it's me, my sister, huh?
And so you have to get me some of that. You have to put me in contact because I got my locks on now.
Yeah, I got you. But
yes,
I got
sir.
specific.
Yes,
You
sir.
gotta have specific instructions with it. If not, it'll spoil because it's
Ooh.
all natural products. So if you leave it out, it'll mold and stuff. So like, my loctician Adriana, she keeps it in a refrigerator at the shop. So when I go to the shop, that's what I use. But
wow.
So the 4 strands is me, my sister, my little cousin Evan. He's out in California. And my little cousin Sydney. And Evan and Sydney, they like our little brothers and sisters. Shout out to Tuskegee University. That's where they graduated from. Evan and Sid. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But that's just like a bond. Like I'm real family oriented with my little cousins, and those 2 little cousins are like my little brothers and sisters. And that's the 4 strands. Me, Janae, Evan, and Sydney, and we just click tight. Like. Yeah, we don't tell on each other. We got each other back. You know what I'm saying? We just hold it in the road. Like I love all my cousins dearly, but we just got a different bond with the Scrams, and that's how it is. Like when my cousin Evan, when he got pregnant, or not when he got pregnant, but when his lady was pregnant with their first child, his mom was like, "You knew, didn't you?" And I'm like, it's the Scrams. Like we're not gonna tell on each other. Like
exactly.
I mean, so yeah, that's what the Scrams is, man. I got that tatted on me. That's for life, man.
I love that. What's the name? I just like the fact that it's promoting physical and mental wellness, unity, and don't quit. I just like the idea behind that brand associated with the MMR, of course. And I just thought that was so cool because, like I said, I like watching the stuff with the fitness stuff. I like that type of stuff. So
yeah.
I like the post with the affirmations and stuff that's associated with everything. It just makes you, it puts you in a good mood and puts you in a good mindset.
Man, positive vibes, man.
Yep, and that's necessary.
So, do you have any current projects you're working on right now?
Always. I'm working on a new album from this producer I know named Kevin Staggers.
Also known as Skip.
Yeah. I'm actually working on the second installment. I don't know if we're gonna call it Till Further Notice 2 or if I might change it up. It depends on the artwork. Like I got, when you drop new projects, you get new attention. So I had a producer send me 3 beats asking for a verse. He just wants a verse and he gonna scope around that. So I'm working on that. And I'm working on I'm seriously working on a full-length project for next year. I take into account when I make music people's attention span. That's why I gave a lot of EPs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was wondering about that strategy because the EPs are popping too. I just was wondering, that's part of the strategy.
I feel like if I can create 2 EPs I feel popping, then I put them together and give you a full length. Because my full length albums, they've been kind of successful. Humble Beginners was the first one. And then One Night, One Mic, One City, and then Life of the Reject. Like they all did what I wanted them to do. You know what I'm saying? They could have did better, but they did what I wanted them to do. So as far as current projects, working on that, I'm about to shoot some videos off this current project. I'm going to shoot videos for each song. At least that's the plan of right now. And, we're going to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm always in the studio. Like I'm doing this podcast right now in my studio. I got some beats loaded. So when I get back from playing tennis, I'm going to come in here and record today. And then,
Say that again. When you get back from playing what?
Yeah, I'm playing tennis with my
partner. My G.
Yeah, my partner, LB. Y'all know Lawrence, LB. Yeah, we
know Lawrence. You know that. Mr. Blackwell, yeah.
Yeah, we, no, that's B. That's B.
Oh, my fault, that's B.
Yeah, I'm talking about
LB.
Lawrence. Yeah, Lawrence.
Oh, my fault. I don't know why I said it. Yeah, no, Lawrence. Yeah. Speak on it.
We're going to play tennis when we wrap this up a little later, so... And then back to the studio. You know what I'm saying? It's
right.
Every day a different process.
Oh man, I got one question for you. One more question for you before we get off, because of course I'm horrible, man. I'll go and I find all kinds of stuff. I like looking at information on people. Of course, knowing you, I was just like, let me see what else is going on with them. Last year, did you get an opportunity? Did you actually get to perform at South by Southwest?
Nah, I got canceled because of COVID.
That's what I thought, man. That had to be disappointing, bro. Because I saw all your lineup stuff, and they actually had you on stage, all of that.
Shout out to my management, Dejan T. Dejan, and I should have mentioned her earlier, but timing
What we
and
getting
things
to?
happen when they happen. Dejan, we had our own stage.
Yeah.
We booked our flights. We had our Airbnb, and then we held out to the last minute. Matter of fact, Spirit didn't want to give me my money back for my ticket, but that's another conversation. They gave me a credit, and I was like, bro, the only reason I flew with y'all because like it was last minute. Like, but anyway, we never made it. So I think we're supposed to be getting invited back next year.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do this year for the same reasons. So next year we're supposed to be getting invited back, and we get our stage back and perform. I've never been to Texas. I travel a lot, but I've never been to Texas, so I was looking forward to that. But it happens how it happens. So South by Southwest, I'll be there soon enough.
That's what I'm talking about. Because please keep us up to date on what you're doing with your travels, especially performance-wise. I know you travel a lot, especially whenever possible. I know you like New York. I know you like because I know how you be moving. You like moving. I already know you my dude, man. Even though I don't get to talk to you that often, I pay attention.
Yeah, New York lit, man.
Yep.
My homeboy gave me a hard time about New York, but I was like, until y'all go, y'all don't know, bro.
Exactly. It's a city that never sleeps. There's opportunity everywhere. And especially when you're from out of town, they don't realize they don't treat out of towners too bad. They don't treat them too badly.
Depending on
who you know. Yeah, depends where you at, who you know.
Yeah, where you at, who you know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not because the way they try to make it seem. They make it seem like as soon as you get it there, they can be like, "Oh, you mush mouth from the South. We ain't gonna respect you, etc." It's changed up a little bit because we're from up north. It's changed up a lot.
It's it had early days. Like I shot a video out in Marcy. You know what I'm saying? I remember. And that was a different experience because everybody say, "Don't go to Marcy." Da 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 da. But when I went out there, it was nothing but love, man. People came out, they was looking at my video like I was on. So that's like when it was a while back when Drake went to Marcy and did a video, and I was like, he did a video, but he Drake and got all the security. I was out there like by myself.
They say naked. He was out there naked.
Yeah, and Marcy, like at the time he shot his video in Marcy, it done got gentrified so bad. Like it's condos right across the street from Marcy now.
I heard it's not. It's almost like a time capsule. They just kept it as a time capsule, but they're moving around it. Everything's changing around it.
Yeah, if I honestly, I think if Jay keeping Marcy like where it's at, because if it wasn't for Jay, I don't think they'll let Marcy stay around too much longer. Like
they'd have tore it down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that part of Brooklyn is dope. You know what I'm saying? I went to Chicago and did a video too, and Chicago don't get me wrong, it's dangerous, but it ain't like the news be putting it out. Like I went to Chicago and had a ball, man. When I'm out in DC, Philly, I have a ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything be cool.
See, man, I like when people talk, because you got to take some of the hype off some of that stuff, because it keeps us, especially as Black folk, from being connected. Like, nah, man, travel, go to the different areas, see how we're living in different communities. Man,
respect is universal. I don't care what hood you go to. Respect is universal. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel I can go anywhere. I'm not checking in nowhere. I can go anywhere and just be myself.
That's it. No, not over the top or nothing. Show respect. You get respect.
Facts.
Yeah.
Your social media, and like if you have any YouTube pages or anything like that, Spotify, where can you find their music?
Yeah. And with that being said, I'm going to give a wise little gem to these young artists. Stop having 20 damn names to find you. So, with that being said, everything is free for Donnie. It ain't no variations, no other.
Yep.
Free for Donnie on everything. Like, you got to make yourself accessible. Like, y'all got 20 names, underscores, hyphens here. People ain't remembering that shit. People high, drunk, all that. They're not remembering all that. But you can remember one name, FreePour Donnie. You know what I'm saying? That's on every social media. I ain't gotta give them no plugs. FreePour Donnie.
I like that. Yep, he ain't lying. Please keep one moniker if you can. Keep it through it. None of those weird little ampersands and all kind of weird stuff trying to replace letters with other letters. You don't gotta do that. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna have time to remember that.
Trying to find you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shoot, man. Is there anything else you'd like to say for our audience, et cetera, before we conclude this episode today?
Nah, man. I thank y'all for having me. The new project out till further notice. You know what I'm saying? It's out now, streaming everywhere, getting good feedback. y'all got some feedback, you know what I'm saying? Tag me in it, post it. I don't care if it's on social media. Other than that, man, shout out to my wife, Siobhan. Love you, baby.
Please do. Please do.
Shout out to my Darla Jane. We got some new stuff coming out. That's my sister's Caroline or whatnot. Shout out to MMR, Fame, and Mr. got shit dropping soon. My DTM family. It's too many to name, but because I'll forget somebody. I ain't gonna lie in this moment. And then, other than that, free Deezy, ho.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. So, of course, this is going to conclude our episode of this episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. We want to thank our guest, FreePour Donnie, for joining us, especially on short notice on a Sunday morning. We want to also let our podcast audience out here know as we going into the fourth quarter of the year, get on your grind. Make sure you go ahead and start your New Year's resolutions early, so that you can roll into this next year with some kind of momentum. And the reason it just brought up because we're talking to Donnie, and the only thing, every time I think about you, I think about work ethic and determination. So I want our audience to understand how important that is, especially moving in, because it's, of course, the dark season. Don't let it be dark on you. You make it shine. But I just want everybody to have a blessed one today, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.
That's it for today's episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hilltop Glove.